Metropolitan Council Transportation Committee for January 22nd, 2024. Our first order of business tonight is approval of the agenda. If there are no changes or additions, we can move on. Seeing none, we can move on to approval of the January 8th, 2024 meeting minutes. Did anyone have any changes or additions? Seeing and hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Vento, second by Councilmember Morales. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay, and the minutes are approved. Now I'm going to turn it to General Manager Kinderas for employee recognition.
Chair Barber, council members, thank you. This is our first employee recognition of 2024, and just appreciate that we're able to do this on a regular basis here. In 2023, we recognized over 50 employees across the course of the year, and so just really appreciate the continued ability to bring forward some stories of just really great work happening across Metro Transit. Today, we have a few people who work in bus maintenance at our North Loop garage. Of course, these employees should be commended for the work they do day in and day out to keep our vehicles in top condition. But they're being recognized today, though, for the way they responded to a scary situation that recently unfolded at a garage. As you'll hear, these individuals acted quickly and with great care to make sure a coworker got the help they needed when it mattered most. So to introduce these individuals, I'd like to invite up Tim Freeworth, the maintenance manager at North Loop Garage.
Madam Chair,
Welcome.
council members, thank you for the opportunity to be here today to recognize several individuals who acted quickly and to help a coworker who has experienced a medical emergency. If not for their actions and quick response, the outcome of this incident could have been much different. On October 27th, Matt Monroe, directly to my left here, heard a radio call for help and a request for ambulance. After confirming the call, Matt requested an ambulance via our Transit Control Center. After this request, Matt enlisted technicians B. Zhang and Dennis Conley to take positions where they could direct the ambulance to the proper area and divert bus traffic as needed. Maintenance Supervisor Chris Collins, to my right here, was directed to the cleaning bays by Matt, where Chris found one of our helpers experienced chest pains and difficulty breathing. Chris helped the employee to a private area in the clean stall and confirmed their location. Chris stayed with this individual until paramedics arrived. The response this team coordinated showed a couple key traits that should be mentioned here. Recognizing the immediate need of a coworker's well-being. Each team member realized the gravity of the situation and ensured they did what was needed to be done for a quick response to their coworkers' needs. And secondly, ensuring the safety in everything they do. They ensured the safety of the first responders by directing bus pulling traffic away from the scene. Their cumulative efforts ensured a timely yet safe-minded response. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. I can meet you over here. A couple of awards to hand out. Thank you. Thanks for coming today. Well, thank you so much for your quick thinking and your compassion. It really shows how caring of a workforce we have and how well people look out for each other. It's always nice to see. So thank you. Now we can move on to reports, and we have MTS Services Director Carlson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, council members. Brief update tonight on the regional solicitation, which is the process undertaken by the Transportation Advisory Board to select projects for federal funding. Coming to the region for surface transportation projects, the solicitation occurs every other year. Applications were due in December and now are being evaluated. So in total, 127 projects were submitted for consideration, 40 in the various roadway categories, seeking $215 million, 15 in transit and travel demand management categories, seeking $61 million, 65 in multi-use trails, pedestrian facilities, and safe routes to school, seeking $158 million. So the largest number, and certainly proportionally the largest request, was in the bike and pedestrian category, and then 7 in the unique projects category, seeking around $10 million. So in total, $445 million is requested in the solicitation. We anticipate between $200 and $250 million to be available, so about half of the level of projects would be funded. Work is occurring now in the qualifying review, which is a technical process. Scoring committees are being formed, and then in the spring, the projects would be fully scored and funding scenarios developed for TAB to consider and discuss, eventually leading toward a project selection anticipated in July, at which point the outcome would come to the council for concurrence or to send it back to the TAB, but the council cannot amend the project list, can only concur or not concur. So that work will continue. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Charles. Are there any questions or comments from council members? All right, very good, thank you. On to Metro Transit General Manager Leslie Kinderis.
Chair Barber, council members, just 2 brief updates today. First, when we come before the Committee of the Whole in February, we're going to provide a broader overview of this work, but wanted you to be aware that we have moved forward since the council's adoption of the Code of Conduct back in December in really updating signage and getting prepared to really communicate to our customers the expectations of them as riders on our system. So if you are out on our system, you're going to start seeing some new signs before that February 7th Committee of the Whole presentation, and just wanted you to know that that work is actively underway. The second update is more of a save the date. Just wanted you to know that on March 18th, we will be recognizing Transit Employee Appreciation Day, as we do each March, and we'll have more information for you about how you can participate in that, but I know calendars fill up fast, so I just wanted you to be aware that March 18th is the date for that. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Questions or comments? All right, thank you. I just want to add one thing to that. I was very fortunate to help participate in some of our listening tours that we had out in our transit system, along with General Manager Kinderis, Charzeli, COO Brian Funk, and Chief Morales. I think that we're hoping to do more of these in the future. This was sort of our first run at some of this. It was a wonderful experience, and we got to meet a lot of the riders. We got to meet some of the people working in the community organizations, and it was very fulfilling. I would say that there's always still more work to be done, but you can definitely see that some of the things we're doing are having really positive impacts on the system, and we definitely heard that. So thank you to everyone who helped participate with that, including all the support staff and all of that. But it was a great experience, and hopefully we'll be able to open up to all of you in the future as we do that. Now I'll go to our TAB report, and we have Peter Dugan here to present.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, Executive Director Carlson. Oh, I'm sorry, honorable members of the committee. I apologize. Metro Transit Manager Kinderis, and I see Mr. Funk is out there, the Chief Operating Officer, as well as Nick Thompson, Deputy General Manager, and of course Jenna, who keeps everything together. And I made her laugh, so I'm really happy about that. This will be very brief. You will be presented, I believe, the next meeting, Charles, the safety plan, and that came before TAB and had a great deal of discussion. The discussion centered around, should targets be, should we target a number of fatalities as an assumption or aim for 0? And there was just a lot of discussion on that, which I'm sure y'all hear when you discuss it as well. I will forward, if I may, to Chair Barber and Executive Director Carlson. There are some reports that a couple of cities in the U.S. have achieved 0 death, but they're qualified, and it's through 2022. But if they, I will forward them, and perhaps that would facilitate some of the discussion. The other major item we had was welcoming new TAB members, and as of course you know, TAB has 9 districts. The TAB board itself has 9 districts for the 9 citizen members. Of course, you folks have 16 districts. For instance, I am the representative for TAB District H, which is districts 15 and 16, with Commissioner Dolkar and Commissioner Wolf. So we are welcoming back as the MnDOT Metro Chief Engineer, Metro District Engineer, Kandi Sahabjem. Mr. Sahabjem was, my understanding, the Deputy Commissioner for MnDOT during the I-35W collapse, so it's really quite wonderful to have him back. Reappointed to TAB District A, which is the Northern Metro, Northwestern Metro, is Doug Anderson. He's going into his 10th year on TAB. He's the former mayor and city council member of over 20 years at Dayton. In TAB District B, John Marast, who was the alternate last year, is now the permanent representative. He has a background in engineering, transportation, utility work, and public works as well. In TAB District C is Husnaya Bradley. That's the Mac Groveland area. She has been an alternate on the commission before, for C. She's the co-chair of the Transportation Policy Group and also on the Richfield Transportation Commission since 2019. She is also in her public work life is the Associate Director for Professional and Career Development at the Mitchell-Hamlin School of Law. TAB District D is Glenn Johnson, returning for his 2nd term. He's a member of the Elliott Park Neighborhood Board of Directors, on the Board of Directors of Streets Minnesota, and began serving on the Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee in 2023. Returning for her 4th term is Amity Foster, the transit representative. She is for the city of Minneapolis, she's on the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee and has been very active in organizing for transit over at least a decade with the Isaiah and the broader Transportation Forward coalitions. New to transit is Christopher Vaughn. He is a volunteer with Our Streets Minneapolis, the Walking College Fellowship, which I believe is linked to the Hiawatha Academies, which is linked to the U. Safe routes to school work in the Lindale community neighborhood, and also he is a teacher at the Hiawatha Academies. And returning to the non-motorized representative for his 2nd term is Brian Martinson. He is a new member since 2023 of the St. Paul Planning Commission, serves on the Transportation Committee and Neighborhood and Planning Committee, and he was chair of the McAllister-Groveland Community Council for several years, ended in 2020. New from representing Carver County is John Fahey, who was a commercial real estate banker for a private bank here in the Twin Cities prior to doing this. Joining us from St. Paul is new city council member Hwa Jeong Kim, and her alternate is Sosa Rouse. And joining us from Minneapolis is city council member Oren Chowdhury, and my understanding is the alternate will be appointed this month by the city. And if I may just go off script just for a little bit, my son works as a teen homeless advocate for Link. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but Link is, and he was with Tubman, the domestic violence shelter, and he told me something the other day that really impressed me because of Councilmember Vento. He works in Apple Valley station, and this homeless person was going to be housed in Tubman, which is in Maplewood. And I said, well, gee, how do they go back and forth to school? And he said, the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, which was named after Councilmember Vento's husband by President Clinton. And it provides, among other things, that there will be transportation for any homeless child to and from, free of charge, to their school of origin. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, ma'am.
DeVan. All right, any questions or comments from council members? All right, thank you very much. And now we are on to the Joint Labor Management Safety Committee update. And I know we have Adam Brody and I believe Raphael Valley here. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Barber and council members. I'm Andrew Brody, Director of Safety for Metro Transit, and I go by he, him.
Good afternoon. My name is Rafael Valle. I'm a 17-year Metro and Transit employee, and I'm here representing the labor side.
So we're here today to update you on the Joint Labor Management Safety Committee on our quarterly updates. We have recently, I've been working through some changes after the first of the year. Right now, I'm actually transitioning to more of a facilitator role, non-bias type role between the two teams with the management and labor side. And co-chair Ron Forrest, he's our Deputy Chief Operating Officer of Transportation. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but he'll be the one kind of heading these updates going forward, but I'll still be very much involved in the background. We're just trying to find ways to navigate the committee a little bit better and really get the mitigation strategies that we want out of it. And we're trying to find new ways on the management side, particularly to do that and become more successful. We're currently still reviewing the agency safety plans for both the light rail and the bus side. I believe we're through the bus one and going to continue with the rail one. We've been reviewing those since June of last year, so hopefully we can wrap those up here in a timely manner. And I know it's a priority for the committee to get those done, as General Manager Canderas will have to check that we have those completed this year in February. I believe that has to be checked by the end of February. So I don't know if you have any further updates.
I got no update. We haven't met since November, so there's no need for me to update. There's been discussions regarding some disputes and lack of participation by a certain side.
All right, any questions or comments from council members? All right, well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to report to us.
Thank you.
We are on to our business items tonight. The first items is the items on consent. I'd entertain a motion to approve the items on consent.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Carter, second by Councilmember Morales. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And the items on consent are approved. Now we're on to our first non-consent item. It's business item 2024-20. It's same week. Metro Blue Line Extension Supplemental Final Environmental Impact Statement Contract. And we have Neha, Damle, Nick Landwehr, and Nick Thompson. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. My name is Nick Landwehr. I'm Director of Engineering and Design for the Blue Line Extension, and we are here to present business item 2023-137, the Metro Blue Line Extension Supplemental Final Environmental Impact Statement Contract, number 23P128. And the purpose of this action is that the Met Council authorize the regional administrator to negotiate and execute the supplemental final environmental impact statement, FEIS, contract with HDR Engineering for environmental consulting for Metro Transit Blue Line Transit Extension Project in an amount not to exceed $3,858,246. So this, our existing environmental engineering contract has been in place since December of 2014. So the contract is now running out of authorized funding for it, and with the length of the contract and discussions and concurrence with procurement, the decision was made to go for an open request for proposals and open procurement for a new contract here. Also want to inform or just recognize that this contract would be and it is in our grant agreement, cooperating grant agreement with Hennepin County and funded through that, and the funding has been identified. So I'm going to turn over to my colleague, Neha Damle, to go a little farther into the background.
Thank you, Nick. Chair, council members. I'm Neha Damle, environmental lead for the Blue Line Extension Project. I'm going to go through a little bit of background of this project. So this project had entered the CIG development phase back in 2014. after which the final environmental impact statement and the record of decision was published in 2016, and this project entered engineering in 2017. Fast forward to 2022, Met Council took an action that advanced the route without using freight rail right-of-way, and that's where the route modification process started. Now, because of this route modification, FTA determined that the appropriate action for the appropriate National Environmental Policy Act class of action would be to prepare the Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement, or SEIS. We are currently in the phase of preparing the draft portion of it, the Supplemental Draft Environmental Impact Statement. And that is anticipated to be published in May of 2024. There will be a 45 days comment period after that, and after which we'll start preparing for the supplemental final environmental impact statement. That is anticipated to be published in spring of 2025. As Nick mentioned, we are getting to the end of our current contract, and we wanted to have a solicitation process of open procurement for the SFEIS contract. And for that, the request for proposals were issued in September of 2023, and the pre-proposal meeting was conducted. And we received one proposal. Because we received one proposal, procurement staff conducted the adequate competition analysis and determined that there was adequate competition for this project. And after that, we followed the Brooks Act evaluation process. So the evaluation panel ranked this proposal on technical merits. And after getting the conclusions and findings and recommendation, the negotiation panel negotiated the pricing with the proposer. And finally, we determined that the negotiation panel determined that the pricing is fair and reasonable. And they recommend HDR engineering as the most advantageous to the council. And the Thrive-Lens analysis is basically this corridor. It will create, this project will create equal opportunity, and it will be economically competitive corridor for workers' access to employment and supports to employers by increasing available workforce with the affordable and convenient transportation. The Office of Equity and Equal Opportunity has assigned this DBE goal of 20%, and this proposal meets that goal. So that is the background on that. Turning over to Nick Thompson.
With that, Madam Chair, we're open for questions, or we have the proposed action.
Perfect, thank you. Questions or comments from council members? Councilmember Vento.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for the presentation. I appreciate it. I have to say I have real concerns about voting on this before we get ridership numbers. I thought we were going to have ridership numbers in January of 2024. And I really have been holding my breath for them to the point where I almost feel like I'm going to turn navy blue. So I'd like to know what's going on with ridership numbers, and I'd like to know if we're at a point where we can be continuing to invest this kind of money before we have that kind of information. To me, it feels like we're backing the car out of the garage without looking as to whether or not there's gas in the tank. And for me, when it comes to transit, the gas in the tank is our ridership numbers and our employees who operate the systems and maintain the systems. And I think we're struggling with both right now, and I think we have more confidence than we can demonstrate with this kind of action.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Councilmember, great question. I'll step back a little bit, give a little refresher of our history of the capital grant agreement that we talked about in length last August and September, where we decided to advance. We used their transway advancement policy at the time. The council authorized the capital grant agreement with Hennepin County that this action tonight is being funded. The intent was to move the project forward, to start to complete the draft environmental impact statement, which provides a lot of information, the impacts of the proposed route, on right-of-way, noise, any environmental impacts. And with that also, we are creating a cost estimate based on the 30% design and a new ridership update. And the ridership update we had anticipated, I believe we did say we thought would be in January. But now, based on making sure we got the 2022 base travel behavior information into the model, it looks like around March will be our month of release for Blue Line enhancements cost estimate and ridership, two important pieces of information. And then also at the same time, we'll be releasing the ridership and cost estimates for Purple Line, which uses the same model. The ridership data will be following FTA guidance to use post-COVID ridership forecasts with a little bit of pre-COVID blended model that we'll be using for Blue Line and Purple Line. So we're just a little bit behind where we thought we'd be last fall, but we will have that information. So the ridership information, the capital cost information, will be able through this process determine the operating costs of the Blue Line extension or projected operating costs. That's a piece of information the council has asked because that's a council responsibility, is the long-term operating cost. So that information is coming along with the draft environmental impact statement, which has all the impacts. And so you'll be weighing the benefits and the ridership and the cost and that stuff. That parts of that information will start this March when we release the ridership and cost. So a little bit behind, but the other part of this is that we stated, and when we had this long discussion last fall about Blue Line, is the information you wanted before you advanced again the project. And so at the end of the municipal consent process, you will, which we have scheduled to end in October, you will know whether there's local support for this project because there'll be a vote at each city. And then you'll have all the information from the ridership cost and environmental, and all of that will be brought forward as part of the Transway Advancement Policy and decision at that point too.
Thank you. Councilmember Vento?
So, thank you, Nick. How much money do you anticipate will be spent on this project by the time municipal consent actually is determined?
Madam Chair, Councilmember, we can get that number. We did authorize with the capital grant agreement, I believe, $75 million to continue the project, but that went through parts of 2025. So I'll have to get that number for you, but we do have that forecasted. We can follow up with that.
And just a quick side note, so last fall, we authorized a limited notice to proceed to a certain point for the design contracts. This is an amount for just the environmental piece, but it's kind of bucketed together to get us the information we need.
Correct.
Make sure. Okay, Councilmember Chambliss.
Thanks. I appreciate having the updates and this information that we need for ridership for other parts of the environmental impact statement, the municipal consent. With the project of this scale, we are going to be evaluating a lot of pieces, as we do with all of our large projects. And my understanding that ridership is not static, it's not set at one point. It gives us information and a guideline of how we are doing, but there are many components that go into making transportation planning decisions. I'm glad that we've gotten the support for the Blue Line extension so far to get us to this point from the federal government, the FTA, Hennepin County, and many of the municipalities that have been working many, many hours and investing a lot of time and doing a lot of community engagement to make sure that we have a premier regional transportation system in the Twin Cities area.
And thank you for your comments, and I do understand and agree that ridership is constantly changing, but a point measure is what will go to FTA to help determine our new rating. And so it's a very, very important part of the information that we'll be looking at. I'm looking to Nick, if he'll correct me if I'm wrong. So,
Madam Chair, council members, ridership is a very important input into the measures where they evaluate the rating for the project. And so ridership will look at opening day and then a forecasted date. I think the data we'll present this spring will be looking out to 2045. It also break down different ridership, like number of new users to the system, which is an important measure for federal funding. And then also some information about which stations will have higher ridership than others and different elements of ridership. There'll be some comprehensive different breakdowns of ridership, all of which is part of your decision-making and is very important for the FTA rating also.
all right, additional questions or comments? Councilmember Chambliss?
Can you remind us of the timeline in terms of when we have to get the ridership information and everything into the FTA?
Yeah, Madam Chair, council members, so we will be seeking our current schedule, really when we seek our FTA rating, if you give me a second here. There's many steps to that. We'll be submitting for the full funding grant agreement, which is where we seek federal funding that has the entire package of information, including ridership. Our current schedule has it in March of 2026. But of course, that's 2 years out, and there can be steps in between that would add time to that if there's more seeking more public input or anything like that. But we're currently on track for requesting federal funds in March of 26 as part of that.
Thanks.
All right, any additional questions or comments? I just have one because I did speak with Mr. Thompson at length about some of this because I'm very keenly interested in the transitway advancement policy. And the conversation we had is that this particular action didn't have it, even though it's an advancement, didn't really go through the full transitway advancement policy as we have it. But as we discussed at length, it's really still in the framework of the actions that we took last fall because it's still part of the things seeking the information that we're using to actually take the next step towards advancing, which is the ridership, the cost, the schedule, the environments, and the property impacts, and all of that should be coming back to us. The next time that we'll really be looking at that from a full policy of advancing it will be related to the municipal consent process. Part of what we're discussing internally is whether there'll be anything done prior to that process at council, or if that will take place after, or both, or how we're going to build that framework. So expect some discussion about how we proceed with that in the next few months to make sure that we kind of are figuring out how we apply this policy to that process. So anything else to
Yeah,
add, Nick?
Madam Chair, I'd just add that we don't anticipate any more contracts that would come through related to the project before municipal consent. We will be seeking municipal consent process is a very public process, very defined actions that must occur in different timeframes, and one of which is for the council to authorize public hearing.
Correct.
So that is an action that will become before this body later this spring or early this summer to kick off the municipal consent. We'll be naming the public comment period as you do in other public comment periods and setting an official public hearing, which is a requirement of municipal consent. It's not the only place we're going to take public input. There's a lot of steps, but there is one official public hearing that must be passed as a resolution by this council. But that's an upcoming action. But after municipal consent, there'll be actions related to the policy, as the chair said.
Correct, and it's, I think one of the things we're trying to discuss is what do we do before? Do we want to look at it before? But we definitely want to after, because you're going to learn a lot from the municipal consent process. So some of that is what kind of format does that take place? And so that's kind of, as we are actually putting the policy into practice, these are some of the kind of conversations that we'll be having. So, all right, any additional questions or comments? All right, seeing and hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve business item 2024-20, same week.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Morales. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Chambliss. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Nay.
And the motion passes. Next, we are on to business, thank you all. Next, we're on to business item 2024-22. It's the Metro Gold Line Bus Rapid Transit Contract Amendment 11, and we have Alicia Vapp here to present. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, council members. So my name is Alicia Vapp. I'm the project director for the Gold Line Bus Rapid Transit Project, and my pronouns are she, her. So I'm here today to present a business item 2024-22. So it's the Metro Gold Line Bus Rapid Transit Contract Amendment Number 11 to design contract 17P058 with Kimley Horn and Associates. So some background on this contract amendment. So the Met Council awarded this contract to Kimley Horn for design services for Gold Line BRT, for the Gold Line BRT project in January 2018 for just over $35 million. The Gold Line BRT project is entering its third year of construction this year and is in need of an additional contract amendment for continued construction administration services. So that includes our larger civil project that most of you see out there, the Wood Lane Park and Ride project in Woodbury, and then several other smaller contracts that have been awarded. So contract amendment number 11 is for approximately $1.8 million, and that will bring the contract total to just over $40 million. Our DBE contract goal of 20% for this contract will continue to apply to the contract amendment itself. So the proposed action before you today is that the Met Council approve authorize the regional administrator to execute Amendment 11 to contract 17P058 with Kimley Horn and Associates for Gold Line Bus Rapid Transit Design Support Services for a total contract amount not to exceed $40,098,947. So happy to answer any questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council members? Councilmember Vento.
The only comment I have, Alicia, is I don't know how you did it, but that opening of the bridge was fabulous. I would recommend that we try to avoid winter the next time we do something like that. Had to have been the coldest day ever, especially on a bridge. But it was a terrific turnout and a great celebration, and I've heard nothing but gushing reviews from folks who are thrilled to have the Bielenberg Bridge open and accessible, and everybody can hardly wait until that 4th Street Bridge over 694 is done. So thank you.
Very good. Any additional questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve business item 2024-22.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vento. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Carter. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay, and motion carries. Thank you, and that concludes our business for the evening. If there's no objections, I would say the first one should go non-consent, it's the same week anyhow, and the second one can go consent if there's. All right, now we're on to our information item for the evening. We have the cubic upgrade, and we have Ed Petrie, Dennis Dworshak, and Sue Hagee here to present.
Good afternoon, Chair Committee members. I'm Ed Petrie. I'm joined this afternoon with Dennis Dworshak. He's our Senior Manager of Revenue Operations at Metro Transit. And Sue Hagee, she is the Deputy CFO for the Council, or CIO for the Council. As the Chair mentioned, we're going to do a brief review of our fare collection system upgrade. What we thought we would do this evening, first of all, is just go through and kind of do a fare collection 101 again, kind of explain what our current fare collection system is, the types of equipment we have, how we collect fares and those types of items. I know when Dennis gets to his portion, he does have some pieces of our old equipment, so to kind of give you a feel for the types of equipment we're talking about this evening. We will then also talk about the fare collection system upgrade, and then we'll then talk about the upcoming business action item that we'll be bringing forward to both the Transportation and Council in February. And with that, I believe I turn it over to Dennis first.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit about our fare collection system right now. We have a proof of payment system on our BRT and our bus. The customers just simply carry a ticket with them, and they have it available for them for the fare inspectors that come by and randomly check for them. This proof of payment could be this proof any kind of a fare product that we sell. We have single tickets, or we have multi multi-day tickets that the customer is going to have. For the fixed route buses, you simply just pay upon boarding. When you first jump up on the bus, you can just tag your card on the validator on the right-hand side, or you can pay in the fare box. The fare box is right in front of you. You just add the cash inside the fare box, or you could have your transfer validated inside the trim unit right next to the fare box. Okay, where do you buy your fare? Okay, the most common is at our web store. Customers will go to our web store and they'll simply log on to metrotransit.org and they'll buy their fare products. They can add value to their existing go-to card, or they can purchase another go-to card or any of our fare products in our fare product library. It's pretty simple for them. Our retail partners, we mostly Cub Foods or Unbanked throughout the Twin Cities. We have about 100 locations we partner with, and they sell our fare products for us. Our mobile app is very simple to use. You just go online, you just download the mobile app onto your phone, and you can easily buy a ticket with our mobile app. And an off-board fare payment. Throughout the region, we have ticket vending machines and validators on all of our BRTs and all of our LRT stations. We have ticket vending machines. We have validators where customers can purchase tickets. Then on board, again, we have fare boxes and bus validators. Okay, with all this system, why do we need to upgrade? Well, our system was put in 2004, and we have pretty much done as much as we can with our existing system. We want to make it easier for customers to pay their fares. There's new technology now that wasn't available back in 2004, 20 years ago, that we want to include in our system. There's right now about 80% of all credit cards that customers have right now are contactless credit cards, and that's improved a lot just in the past couple of years. So customers can take advantage of those contactless credit cards. We've tried to keep the system. We've kept the system going throughout the years. We've done upgrades to it. We've done patches, and we've upgraded the operating system. But we pretty much have gone as far as we can with our existing technology right now. Our bus validators, like Ed was talking about, our bus validators that I talked about earlier, they're at the end of life. We really can't buy these anymore, and we can't repair them anymore. They're pretty much the end of the life. We do have a few spares, and we're keeping them going. We have a very good technician team, but they're end of life. And same with our fare inspection devices. Our fare inspection devices that our new trip team officers are using right now, this is very dated technology, and we want to improve. We want to give our new officers the best equipment that they can have right now. They have to handwrite all of their tickets on these ticket pads. This is pretty old technology. We want them to be able to print their tickets out and maybe scan an ID card rather than handwrite all the information on it. So that will all come with this upgrade. There's strong support, both internally, our stakeholders and our customers both strongly support upgrading our technology for our fare collection system. Our objectives, again, customer ease of use. We want on-demand smart card by the web or mobile to update your balances, accept all credit cards, debit cards, payments on all of the validators. Easy region-wide acceptance of all fare products. This is whether you're on one of the suburban providers or any of the BRTs. It's going to be the same payment system. It's going to be easier for our customers. Our customers can be able to recognize the system wherever they are within the system. Equity and access to all of our customers. We want to improve the fare policy options. One option that we're very interested in is the fare capping, and with this system, we will be able to incorporate fare capping. We want to expand and improve the retail options that we have that I talked about earlier. And during the transition, we have added a feature where our customers can use the existing technology, our existing go-to cards, as we roll out the new cards. So it's going to be easier for the customers. In the past, for this same upgrade, customers had to shut off their old cards and get a new card. So that was really difficult for the customers and the agencies to make that transition. We've worked it out so that they can use their old cards as we transition. It's going to be a rolling transition time for us. We want to continue our disadvantaged business opportunities that we have right now. We do have large contracts, and we have an opportunity for more contracts, but we'll continue with our armored car transport contract, which is right now the largest MCUB contract that finance has. So we can continue with that. That offers that opportunity for them. We have a maximum system flexibility. It's going to be easier to integrate with third-party systems that we have right now. Our AVL system or our GPS system, it's very integrated with our fare collection system for our report writing, and this is very important for us. It'll be easier to integrate with that system. There's improved security, database technology, report management will be also very much improved. We'll offer third-party integration. This is unlimited, the third-party integration abilities that we will have with this new system. I put a couple of opportunities down there. We have bike lockers or shared mobility, but it's unlimited what we can do. So what a customer can do if we sign contract with third-party, that they can use that same fare card throughout the system. We want to support efficient and reliable transit, real-time fare calculation, which is very important for us, enhanced device monitoring and management. This is going to alert this new system. This is a new software that would be included in the software in this upgrade package. It'll alert our technicians when one of our devices is down. One of the ticket vending machines that is down on the line, it will instantly alert one of our technicians that the system is down, and they can respond much more quickly than they do right now. Cloud hosted is also going to be very much more efficient than the on-premises that we have right now. Support for open payments, including all contactless cards and mobile wallets. This would be Google Pay or Apple Pay. We're going to leverage enhanced data operations, consolidated reporting for third-party devices. We have a lot of different systems that we have now for fare collection. This will consolidate all of those into one in the back office make it easier, much more easier for us. Automated reporting and data analytics, we want to always improve that and improve our system security, not just the software, but all the cards also. We'll be replacing the cards, and the cards will have better technology and better security in them also. But getting back, the main thing is we want to improve the customer experience for fare payments, especially as we incorporate the trip program, which has been recently started. Instant account transactions. There's be cellular connection on all of our buses. As we know right now, when you go online and you add value to your go-to card, it has to go through the system, and the system will connect with our buses. Our buses will connect when they get back to the garages each day, maybe twice a day. But that could be a long time for a customer. So what we'll do is we'll have cellular connection for all of our buses. When you get online and you add that value to that card, it'll be there instantly. It'll be connected instantly to each one of our buses because it's all cellular connected. Multiple cards can be connected to one account, and this would be really important for a family who wants to have multiple cards. Their children who all have the cards, but their parent holds the account. It could be also an organization or a business with one account, but all the cards are associated with that one account. So it'd be easy for them to add value to that one account, and then everyone can be drawing from it. That's really important for us. Contactless payments are accepted. Customers can just bypass the ticket vending machines, and they can just tap their card and get on the bus or the train. Replace their go-to card with a credit card. It's pretty simple. Some of our employees are saying it's like having a TVM in your pocket. Improved experience for all customers region-wide, especially for visitors. Visitors come from out of town, and they don't know how to use our system. They don't know our ticket vending machines, and it takes them a while to get acclimated. They just have to get off the train or they have to just get off the airplane and just tap the validator, and they can get on the bus or get on the train, and they don't have to, and the best fare payment will be taken from their credit card using any kind of contacts, as Google, like I said, Google Pay, Apple Pay. They can avoid ticket vending machines. Special event customers, we have one train that typically comes in. This is an example. One train that comes in for special events, such as on the North Star, for the like a Vikings game or a big concert, that one train that comes in, well, all of our customers don't come in time to wait in line for the ticket vending machine. This will allow the customers just to get off, tap their card, and get on the train. Instead of waiting in line for the TVM, there's not enough time for the train, then they have to make that call. Do I want to get on the train without a fare payment or and risk a citation, or do I, so this will avoid all those situations. This also allows us to have a gift card option. So we can have gift cards at the major stores such as Walmart or Target. We can have a gift card on the gift card rack.
As Dennis talked about, this is an upgrade of the existing fare collection system. And there's actually many benefits to upgrading what you already have. And Cubic has already proven to us that they are highly capable of delivering on all our system requirements. Cubic's actually a market leader in the fare collection space. They've delivered this proposed platform to their customers in New York, Boston, Chicago, and San Francisco. There's a lot of benefits financially. By upgrading it out, it actually allows us to lower our capital costs by significantly leveraging existing system, infrastructure, and equipment wherever we can. There's schedule benefits. There's a streamlined timeline for implementation and transition. Metro Transit has many planned expansions of new lines, and this will reduce the schedule risk for those new lines. This will minimize the transition fare collection downtime for customers by utilizing what we already have. And the transition of the existing system will be less complex because we're using what we already have. The upgrade will include a broad range of system enhancements. Many of the older devices will be replaced during the upgrade. There will be new bus and station validators that will allow for open payments. The software and hardware for the ticket vending machines will be refreshed. The retail partner point of sale devices will be replaced. And the upgrade will actually support the new code of conduct policy by making it easier for customers to pay their fares. The system will allow for citation database management and new inspection devices. And on the technology side, basically the architecture is completely new, and the new account-based system will be hosted in our Council Microsoft Azure cloud platform for increased scalability, security, and resilience. The upgrade will include issuance of new account-based transit cards, and there will also be a new reporting solution as part of this new system. It has a new device monitoring solution, which will allow enhanced device and system monitoring. The system was developed to improve device availability and increase field services operational efficiency. There's also a new call center customer service application that will provide customer service representatives the tools they need to assist the customers with account management when customers call in. Now, when we were thinking about the approach of how we were going to implement this, the number one goal of the implementation of the upgrade is to minimize service disruption to our customers. This is very, very important. And so the implementation of the upgrade will be spread across 2 phases with an approximate 3-year duration. So phase 1 will primarily upgrade what we call the back office, all the software to the new version and migrate it to the cloud. And so the first step is reviewing the design. We'll be upgrading the new software pieces to include the new reporting system and upgrading to the device monitoring. And then there will be new ways of integrating with other systems. We call these APIs that will allow us to connect to third-party vendors. Then in phase 2, it's all about the customer. It'll be customer-facing. The second and final phase will be implemented over 19 months. It will bring open payment processing capability to all of our devices. We will be upgrading the software and hardware kits and replacing many of the devices during this phase, such as bus validators and retail partner devices. During this phase is when we're going to be transitioning customers to the new account-based fare media cards. And it was really important for us that during this transition that we support both the legacy card that they already have and the new account-based go-to card types. We want to maintain that during this transition piece as we're going to the new cards. And customers are going to have the option to transition their fare media to the new cards in various methods. They can walk into a store, they can go to our website, or they can call the call center. to get this done. Now, once this phase is complete, we will be able to take advantage of open payments as a powerful, convenient payment method for transit riders. All devices in the system with this phase completed will be on the latest hardware and software versions to ensure continued reliable service for many years to come.
So with that comes the overall cost analysis that we've been working on. We originally received an original proposal from Cubic. We worked very closely with our procurement department and with IS and with our consultant, Clever, that we hired to help us go through that proposal. We received another revised one from Cubic that we are still continuing to work on, but the estimated total is around $37.7 million, of which would include just over $28 million for all the upgrades that we've been talking about, all the equipment, all the software, all that integration of all the different fare products. In addition to that, we would be building in a 5-year operation and maintenance agreement with Cubic for just over $8 million. Then there's a customer service application for just over $800,000, and then Dennis talked about some fare collection cards that we're going to be receiving also with this package of just over $500,000. So it's a total estimate of about $37.7 million. I do want to point out that we also did a single independent estimate comparing this upgrade to if we were to go on the open market and do a full upgrade with a brand new vendor. We estimated we would save between 20 to 27%. Our consultant that we hired says it's an estimated cost savings of about 30%. So that's basically talking about the system upgrade, all those items. One of the other things that I do want to point out, though it does not include, is Dennis and I have had a number of consultations with a few of our other peer agencies that have gone through full fare collection upgrades. One of the things we actually talked to one of our former colleagues that works now out in Boston. They're going through a fare collection upgrade, and they went with their upgrade. They went for a period of time of about 6 months where they were unable to collect fares during the transition. Most of the common people that we had talked to, most of the common times were anywhere from 2 to 3 months during the transition time not being able to collect fares. For us, that would be about $6 million a month that we would not be able to collect across our region in fares. That is not considered in this 30% savings. So I just want to point out it's 30% savings plus whatever our risk would be for the non-collection of fares. One of the other things too is we've also been working with our consultant and identifying potential additional resources we may need to support this. They're mainly on the IS side, and they would be some additional staff for web development, back-end development and integration, cloud deployment, database administration, security, and PCI compliance. I know Sue is working with our consultant and working with her staff to identify which of the positions that we're going to be needing. So as we identify those, we'll bring those forward in our standard quarterly operating budget amendments, bringing forward the additional staff to hire and identifying what staff we're going to need and for what purpose as we move through this transition. The final slide we have here is we'll be coming back to the Transportation Committee on February 12th and then to the full council on February 28th with a business item for a 5-year contract with Cubic. It'll be for up to $37.7 million. And it'll include the $28 million of the design build, the $8 million of the operations and maintenance support agreement, the 500,000 smart cards, and our full operation and maintenance plan. And with that, we've told you a lot of information tonight. We're open to any questions, but we thought it was very important to come this evening and kind of really explain what we're looking at doing, what it means, and there's a lot. We're excited. We're to the point now where the technology is there. It's ready to be used. It matches current technology. Like we said, customers have contactless credit cards. That's basically their fare card of the future. So we're actually matching today's technology, which is going to be nice for the customer. So with that, Madam Chair, committee members, we would stand for any questions.
Very good. Thanks to all of you. Questions? There's many. So Councilmember Chambliss and then Pacheco.
Yeah, thanks for this update. I remember the first time that this was presented, that it was being considered, and now we're getting a lot more detail and information, and I see a lot of options for payment, which, a person can make their choice. If you want it, if you feel comfortable using a credit card, you can use a credit card. If you want to use your wallet, which I'm just now starting to use. If for some reason you forget your physical wallet at home and you got your phone, you have an option. So that's great. Now, navigating, it was interesting when you talked about navigating for events onto the light rail, because that's a lot of people getting on there at one time, or if you're in a hurry, you're trying to get your payment so you can catch that train and get to your destination in a timely manner. And I know there are multiple boxes out there now for different uses. So for this new upgrade, are we going to have different boxes for different uses, or are all boxes, would you be able to pay your fare at the light rail, no matter what type of card you have?
Madam Chair, council members, yes, absolutely. You'll be able to pay at the rail station or at the BRT station. You'll be able to pay regardless of what card you have. If you have a contactless credit card, or if you still have one of our existing smart cards, you'll be able to pay. Just have you can just have the validator and pay.
So all of the validators will accept, no matter what your usage?
That's, Madam Chair, council members, yes. All the validators on the buses and the validators at the rail stations will all accept contactless payment. Any kind of contactless payment that's valid right now, we will be able to accept, and we have to make it clear, because not everyone understood that the buses are included, but yes, the buses are all the fixed route buses are included.
That's great, because you have to pick the right box, not currently. That's what I discovered, so that'll be an improvement as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Pacheco.
Yes, thank you for the, council members. Thank you for the information. Actually, I get asked a lot about this and how we're using it and what. I've had trouble with the ones on Nicollet and 5th Street, or 6th Street. That one I'm kind of running at sometimes, and then they won't work, and then I think, well, I can get on anyway, but it's kind of gets frustrating, just to let you know that. But from what you've said, and I think there's some great opportunities here. One for family. You said something about a family card. I'd love to have one myself. The kids use it. They take mine sometimes, and I have to track them down. But having a family card, I think you bring everybody with. Especially on weekends, you'll see little families going here and here downtown. So it's something like that's very helpful. And then maybe as we look at all the different uses, it's just providing a bundled card, if you will, for a small business that could give it to as one of the payments for employment. So it gets different employees on the bus system. It's there, it's paid, they don't have to worry about it, it comes through the bundle. That would be very beneficial for small business, and where they can attract employees, and here it is. And on weekends, you use it. And so it gives you some benefit as that as well. So I look at the technology, I look at what you've explained here, and I think that does provide us a lot of opportunities to be not only be taking care of the direct customers, but also the communities and businesses they have.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments? Councilmember Carter.
Thank you. This has grown more and more amazing as we've heard more and more about it. And so thank you very, very much for all the time and careful research you've undertaken. I would ask two questions. One is going to show my ignorance. I know that this is rail and bus rapid transit buses. What is the limitation, or are we simply not extending this to regular bus routes?
Madam Chair, council members, yes, this will also include regular bus routes.
Okay.
Yes, this will include regular bus routes. As the customer gets on, they'll have the same, these validators that we currently use will be replaced with one that accepts contactless cards. So all regular buses are included.
Okay.
Right now.
I'm sorry, I did.
Yep. No,
I did see it down there.
That's a very good question.
No, it's not a good question. But I ignored what you told us earlier. And so the second question is just a broader one. It sounds really, really good. And I know that it does sound as though it's not just upgraded technology, but actually leading edge. I would ask the obvious question. As you went through the research on this,
and you aligned the pros and cons. What were some of the cons? And, perhaps there was one big one that you can tell us about and how you mitigated for it, or how you're seeing that into the future. Were there any?
Madam Chair, council members, I appreciate that question. We spent a lot of time with both the vendor and the consultant on this, and we've worked through a lot of the cons. The biggest con, one of the biggest cons that we dealt with, and we were able to resolve it, was, we talked about it a couple of times, was with the customer transition from the old cards to the new cards. When other transit agencies upgraded with this system, they had a shut-off time where all of their old cards were shut off, and not everybody was caught up at the time. And so customers were sitting at home with their old cards that didn't work, and that was a huge problem that they had. And so we worked with the consultant and we worked with the vendor to mitigate that. So we have a plan for that transition. So when the new system comes in place, the old cards, we call it backporting. The backporting is going to be included in this, and the customers will be able to do that. And when there was another one where we talked to other transit agencies that received this same upgrade, and customers weren't able to see the value of their card when they tagged, because it's an account-based system. The transaction has to go back to the account. And so there wasn't enough time for that transaction to go back to the account and come back and tell the customer what value it had. Well, with our consultant and with the vendor, we've worked it out. So we will have this on the system. And this is brand new to this type of technology. And that's through a lot of work from the vendor and the consultant and our team.
Thank you for clarifying that. Sometimes I got lost on the words. I
Yes.
thought you were comparing against other systems, but that was actually with this particular system as well.
That's correct.
And you've mitigated. Thank you very, very much.
And Madam Chair, Committee Members, Councilmember Carter, I guess some of the other comments that I will add also is one of the other things that we looked at is the fact that, as you're aware, we're building our system. So while we're going through a fare collection upgrade, we're continuing to build our system. We're bringing on the A line, the C line, the D line, the gold line. We're building towards the green line extension. So we're purchasing fare collection equipment for all those lines that will be going live during the time of this fare collection system upgrade. So if we had either stayed with Cubic or gone with vendor XYZ, all this fare collection equipment that we had purchased, we would then have to rip out, put all brand new in, and we wouldn't be able, by staying with Cubic, we're able to leverage those investments we're putting into those pieces of equipment. And the other thing that I mentioned too is we also looked at the risk of not being able to collect fares. Every single month is $6 million. It's a lot of money.
Thank you for slowing down for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I love talking the numbers, and those are some
Yeah.
big risks that, when you make the investment, when you make the financial investment, you want to be able to get your use out of that investment. This will allow us to leverage the investments we've made.
Thank you so much.
Councilmember Vento.
I have a strange question. I'm not going to apologize for it, because if I don't ask it, I'll think about it all night. What risk do our weather extremes pose for our pay boxes at the platforms? Either heat, cold, moisture, wind?
Madam Chair.
You have the repair department.
Yeah, Madam Chair, Councilmember, that is a very good question, and we've dealt with that in the past, and we have some very good technicians on our team. And our team has developed heater system that works with this. In fact, some of the vendors have adopted what we have, what our team has created, which is different types of heaters with thermostats. We have, if you look at the top of the ticket vending machine, they have ventilation on the top. So we have one person, his name is Brian, and he goes down the line every fall and he covers up all those vents. And then he turns on all the heaters at a certain temperature. It's all Celsius, I don't remember what it is, but he turns up all the heaters so that the heaters will turn on and keep our system warm, all of our devices warm. And then in the spring, he does the same thing. He opens up he takes all those covers off those vents and allows the fresh air to come in so that it doesn't overheat in the summertime.
And when it does get overheated here in the summertime, like over 100 degrees, are there any issues? Or what about as far as moisture? I'm just curious.
Madam Chair, council members, those are good questions. Yeah, we do have, an alert that for each of the ticket vending machines that does overheat. It's called overheating. It's just the overheating alert the system is. So we'll go in there and we'll check to make sure that the fans are all properly working. And so we'll get, the technicians will get out there as soon as they can to make sure that the fans are turning and that air is circulating throughout the system.
Thank you.
And it cools it off.
Councilmember Cameron.
Thank you for that. And I lived through the CTA fare upgrade as a customer. It was very unpleasant. So it is, I appreciate you voicing that it is a major frustration for customers, even those who can navigate all of that. So let's keep that in mind as we're moving through this process. I think two questions came to mind. The first is on the operations and maintenance cost, the $8 million. Is that, will that be an ongoing cost going forward with this system? And how does that compare to our existing system?
Madam Chair, council members, yes, that will be an ongoing cost. And that is similar, slightly higher than what we pay currently.
How much do we pay currently to Cubic?
We can have to get back to him, and I don't know the exact.
Okay. Madam Chair, council members, we'll get back to you on that one.
Just because it would be helpful to know. If it's close to the same amount, then it seems like, a great upgrade for the value. The second question was how this, the timing of this and the upgrade to our fare collection system tied into some of the other initiatives that we're working on, the TRIP program, I think the fare loss research that MTS had done. Are those pieces being informed? I think one of the things that I would like to make sure of is that as we're thinking about fare loss and what we're looking at within the system, how does upgrading our fare collection system impact that? Are we locking ourselves into something that may not, that may impede some of that work?
Madam Chair, council members, I'll take a shot at that one. We have worked with our TRIP team very closely as we moved through this process of developing the criteria for this upgrade. We worked very closely with them. They were in a lot of our workshops that we've had over the last year. And then one thing that we're looking at is, especially for the BRTs, and we know that there's challenges on the BRT system right now with fare compliance, but some of that is with the technology that we have out there. It'd be easier for customers to tag their credit card to pay their system right now than it is right now. Waiting at the ticket vending machines, we do have small ticket vending machines. They're good, but they're a little bit slower than the full size ticket vending machines we have on the rail lines. So that's part of the issue, and sometimes it just takes too long for the customer to make that transaction. So they just simply get on the bus. That'll make it a little bit easier. So we're hoping that with a combination of fare inspectors and easier payments, that we'll see better fare compliance. That's our hope anyway, and we'll work very closely with the TRIP team.
Additional questions or comments? I think I have one that's sort of adjacent to some of that. One of my questions was, with the new inspection devices, is there a way to pay your fare if somebody hasn't paid their fare for the places where we do the tapping off like on the ABRT or the light rail, where you're doing it on the platform, not on the bus or the train?
Madam Chair, council members, yes, you can pay your fare with the new devices, not with our old devices, but the new devices. You can tap it, and we can actually pay your fare.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. Very good. All right. Anything else from anyone? Well, looking forward to seeing this, and thanks for bringing it to us ahead of the business items. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, with that, it concludes our business. If there's nothing else this evening, all right, and we are adjourned.
First warm day, too.